out what is a remortgage. I know it's like the dumbest word ever, but it is a word, so we should talk about it. A remortgage. I looked it up. It's a verb. It means to take out another or different kind of mortgage on a property. I know this sounds crazy, but we have to talk about this today because a lot of people don't understand how to make money or save money from a mortgage and how to either do we get a remortgage or do we go get a new mortgage, okay? Now, what is a remortgage? Technically, let's say you already have a mortgage. You've been in your home for 2 or 3 years and you have bank A, and you have a couple of choices. You could either go and refinance with your current company because interest rates have come down, or you could get a totally new mortgage with a different company. That is considered a remortgage. All right. So the internet's actually got some pretty interesting thoughts on this entire thing because they're sort of freaking people out. Like, how long does a remortgage take? Right? Well, it says that the remortgage process can take 1 to 2 months if you're switching to a new lender, and maybe less than a week if you stay with your current lender. I can almost figure out who is putting all this propaganda on the internet. A bank that's really losing customers. All right, so think about this. Remortgaging to a new lender, the internet says, can often take between 4 to 8 weeks once you've applied, okay? Or again, remortgaging with the same lender, it may be possible to complete within 1 to 7 days. But here's the problem with that. They don't want to tell you this on the internet. A lot of times when you go with the same bank and you say, hey, bank, I've been with you and my interest rate's at 8 and I see that they're down at 7. I would like to refinance with you. And they say, no problem. Well, this is going to be the rate. We're going to give it to you at 7. And these are going to be the fees. And a lot of people leave a lot of money on the table because they could simply go out to other lenders. Think about insurance. Just throwing this out there. How many times have you had car insurance and you're like, I just got another bill and my insurance went up, and you start shopping around and all these other insurance companies are willing to give you the same coverage for less money. Why? It's called a customer acquisition cost. They want to be able to bring you in at a lower price and get your business, and hopefully you're going to forget about all the other companies out there, and then they'll do the same thing to you. Banks are the same way. So many people leave money on the table by just refinancing with their own bank, when really what you should do is go and get not only a quote from your current bank and have them include how much the fees are going to cost, how long it's going to take to do it, and what the new rate's going to be, and then go and compare that with outside banks, because you may find that, sure, the bank's going, if you go with a different bank, it's going to take you like 4 extra weeks. Well, how much is that 4 extra weeks worth? And are you working the entire time? No, you're not. And guess what? You already have the house. So go out and get a new quote. And I always tell people to get 2 or 3 quotes, right? Now, they say that remortgages, when you go with a new bank, scary. Timescales can vary between lenders, right? Sometimes a lender offering an attractive mortgage rate will receive a big inflow of applications, which may slow its usual turnaround time. I think that's crap. Of course, I'd rather wait a little bit more and save a lot of money, right? The other thing you want to understand is that when you're going with a new company, they're having to do a new appraisal and all kinds of stuff because you're a new customer, you're a new client. They're going to have to have you sign all these new docs and fill out all this paperwork just like your last bank did, but it's part of the process, all right? Now, let's talk about how you could speed up the remortgage process. Once you've applied with a new lender, it's really how fast the remortgage proceeds or the process comes down to. It's mainly down to the lender. However, there are a couple of steps that you can take before applying that help speed up the process. First, get your finances in order. When refinancing with a new bank, I'm going to stop that whole remortgaging. I can't believe that it's even a word. When you're doing this refinancing with a different lender, they must check how you can afford the mortgage. So in the months leading up to your remortgage or your refinance, literally paint the big picture for them. Like, you want to try and pay off some of your bills, or at least reduce any borrowing you have on overdrafts, loans, and credit cards. Paying them on time, including bills, should help smooth the process out. Check your credit score. If there's something not quite right with your credit score, a lender will investigate it. Checking your credit score is as good as it can be, and correcting any errors before you apply, it can help avoid the delays further down the line. if you're going to do it before. That's the point. Another point to do is don't switch jobs. If you're considering switching jobs, you may be better off waiting until your refinance is complete. Of course, it may be out of your hands, but if you're just starting in a new role, some lenders may be reluctant to offer you a refinance deal in the first few months, okay? The next thing is to get an agreement in principle. Getting an agreement on the decision in principle from a lender indicates the amount you may be able to borrow without applying property. Another term for this is getting a loan estimate or a good faith estimate, right? They sort of change all the time. This won't usually affect your credit score, but it's not a definite promise that you're going to get the refinance deal either, okay? But it's important to get it in writing because it shows you all of your fees, the rate, and everything, all right? Now, prepare your paperwork. Find out which document a lender will likely want to see and start gathering them. You may be allowed to share them electronically, or you may need paper copies. So prepare both. Getting paperwork lined up early is usually a good idea. If you're self-employed, as evidence requirements tend to be more erroneous than if you're employed, make sure that you then fill in the application form accurately. It will prevent delays. Now, consider using a broker. As well as providing mortgage advice, brokers will often do a lot of the paperwork for you when it comes to preparing for the refinance or the remortgage, because it's what they do every day. Brokers know the process, how to fill in the forms, and what lenders need to see. Also, a broker can work with multiple different banks or lenders, as opposed to one bank just being able to give you what they have, okay? Now, what can slow down a refinance or a remortgage? Many things can delay the progress of your remortgage, including mistakes on your application and missing information or paperwork. Delays also occur if a lender finds fault with your credit report, can't easily verify the evidence you provided, or has a query over the valuation of the property, right? It may also add time if a lender wants to question you about a particular large expense or reasons for recently taking out a new loan. The more complicated your refinance, the longer it may take too. This could include if you want to borrow more or change something else, such as adding something to the mortgage or removing someone. Sometimes lenders experience backlogs, generally perhaps if they receive more applications than they're used to. This may cause service times to be longer than usual, even for standard refinance applications. So, what's the quickest way to remortgage or refinance? Typically, the fastest way is to switch mortgage deals with your current lender. Call them up, see what kind of deals that they are offering. But again, I want to stress this. Once you get that information, don't just dive in. Take a little bit of time, go and talk to some brokers, get some loan estimates from them, because you may find that just a little bit of work can go a long way and save you a ton of money. And you know what I say about saving money? A penny saved is a penny earned. All right, I didn't say that at first. I took that from somebody. All right, with that being said, this video is done.